Juniper Networks delivers a secure, assured network environment that enables enterprises to optimize the delivery of differentiated applications and services to their widely distributed constituents. With Juniper, enterprises can rely on their network to increase efficiencies and control risk as they grow their business. Juniper Networks is a trusted security provider that utilizes a layered approach to security with a complete range of integrated firewall, VPN, antivirus, intrusion detection, and prevention solutions. The award-winning Juniper Networks Secure Access SSL VPN, or Secure Sockets Layer Virtual Private Network, is the market leader in providing remote and mobile employees, contractors, business partners, customers, and others with remote access to network resources and applications that they need. The Secure Access appliances round out Juniper Networks' layered security approach and our existing VPN firewall products by providing secure access anytime, anywhere to corporate information. They're another way that Juniper Networks meets the demands of today's global and extended work environment. Network layer or IPsec VPNs secure communications between a local area network or LAN and an endpoint. IPsec VPNs are an excellent solution for remote or branch offices, fixed telecommuters, and fixed partner site-to-site connections where the user has a managed corporate device and is coming from a trusted network. But IPsec VPNs are a less desirable solution for mobile users because they require additional overhead for client software deployments and installations and ongoing help desk support. SSL VPNs operate at the application layer and are ideal for providing access to selected resources for mobile employees and consultants, as well as business partners and customers who must access the network from an untrusted network via a non-corporate device. SSL VPNs use the Secure Socket Layer, or SSL, as a method of secure transport. Since SSL is available as part of all standard web browsers, there's no client software to install, configure, or deploy. SSL VPNs provide access from any device from anywhere. They don't just handle web applications, they enable access to any network resource. SSL VPNs have compelling TCO benefits and also provide the additional benefit of granular control of shared information. Using an SSL VPN allows your enterprise to balance the need to provide access to remote or mobile users, partners, and customers with ensuring that these audiences see only what they're allowed to see. This helps to mitigate the risks of unmanaged devices or untrusted networks. An advantage of using SSL VPNs is that they have a very low total cost of ownership because there's no client to deploy, no changes required to internal servers, and can provide access from any computer with a web browser that supports SSL. The SSL VPN sits between outside users and internal resources and intermediates all communication between the two. The outside user and internal resources are never in direct contact with each other. Each sees the Secure Access appliance as the termination point between their communications, because the appliance intermediates and rewrites the content as it passes through the appliance. In other words, the Secure Access appliance takes a request for internal resources from an outside user and modifies the addresses to make it look as if the request came from the appliance. And with outgoing request fulfillment, it appears from the outside user's perspective as if the answer came from the appliance, not the internal resources, shielding sensitive information about internal resources from the public internet. The Juniper Secure Access appliances can dynamically transform a broad array of web applications, including scripted or Java applications, and can be configured to allow access to client-server applications, as well as providing full network layer access. Juniper Networks Secure Access SSL VPNs offer 3 different access methods, enabling administrators to provision access to resources by purpose. This allows great flexibility and per-user or group granular security. The first access method is clientless core access. Core access is the foundation of Juniper Networks Secure Access appliances, providing access to web-enabled applications, Windows and Unix file shares, email, messaging clients, and Telnet SSH host servers. Core access is available to any user from any Internet-enabled device. It is also the most cost-effective access method because it is not dependent on client compatibility. It allows most users to access the resources and applications requested with just an Internet-enabled device and a standard web browser. It can provide access to managed or unmanaged devices, as well as to trusted or untrusted networks. Access to a client-server application is provided by the Secure Application Manager, or SAM. This lightweight dynamic download makes client-server applications available to Windows and Java-based application users. Access to client-server applications can be specified by the administrator on a group-by-group basis and limited to specific machines like corporate-issued PCs. SAM can be used from trusted or untrusted networks and with managed or unmanaged devices, such as that of a business partner that you share an application with, provided that the application's client software is loaded on that PC. It provides one-click access to complex client-server applications such as Citrix, Microsoft Outlook, and Lotus Notes provisioned. Full network access is provided by Network Connect, which is recommended for remote and mobile employees only on trusted or untrusted networks. Network Connect eliminates the cost and hassle involved with installing and maintaining client software, as in IPsec VPNs, while granting most of the same benefits. Network Connect's innovative, adaptive, dual-mode transport ensures that users get the best connection possible from any network environment. When the user is authenticated, Network Connect will initially create a high-performance IPsec-like network tunnel. If the underlying network configuration does not support that type of connection due to firewalls that block IPsec or other network issues, Network Connect will automatically fall back to SSL. Transparent to the end user, this function ensures the highest performance from any connection, enabling power users to take full advantage of powerful, resource-intensive applications like voice-over IP or streaming media from a standard web browser. End-to-end security is critical in your SSL implementation. There are several additional factors that define true end-to-end security. Juniper Network Secure Access Appliances provide the most complete end-to-end security throughout a session, from the end user to the internal server. First, endpoint defense is important to ensure that the end device connecting the user to your internal servers is secure. The Secure Access Host Checker tool can be configured to assess the security posture of the end device, to confirm that the user meets certain predefined security criteria, especially if the connection is from an untrusted network. For example, the Secure Access Host Checker can be configured so that the user is not even allowed to submit credentials until the security of the end user device has been confirmed. Native host checks are available on the Juniper Network's SSL VPN out of the box. Administrators can select from a variety of industry-leading firewall, antivirus, malware, and spyware protection packages that HostChecker will check for on the end user's machine. For other endpoint security packages that are not predefined in the Secure Access appliance, the customer can create custom HostChecker policies. This component checks if security files and processes are installed on the endpoint device and verifies that they are valid. It can also check port activity and registry settings. Administrators can custom configure DLLs to perform specific types of checks as well, or use the predefined HostChecker policies. The HostCheck API integrates with best-of-breed third-party security clients, such as personal firewalls or antivirus applications. It verifies that these solutions are installed on the endpoint and that they are running. If they're not, the HostCheck Server Integration API enables the download of security applications from the Juniper Network's SSL VPN. This ensures continuity and security because the endpoints allowed to connect to the SSL VPN are running the same versions of the same security applications. The Juniper Endpoint Defense Initiative, or JEDI, is a series of just-in-time delivered agents which dynamically provision and enforce best-in-class endpoint security solutions. This can include enforcement of antivirus scanners, personal firewalls, malware detection agents, and even the spawning of virtual desktops to further protect secure access session data. Malware protection, which defends against keylogger attacks, Trojan horses, or other potentially malicious monitoring applications, is also automatically integrated in every secure access appliance for a limited number of users. To ensure the data in transit is secure, Secure Access utilizes the Secure Socket Layer, or SSL, across the Internet. SSL utilizes encryption and decryption to secure private data across the public network. Last but not least, Juniper Network Secure Access appliances are built on the Instant Virtual Extranet, or IVE platform, which is our hardened, purpose-built operating system. In other words, the appliance is not designed to run any other services. There are no backdoors to exploit or hack. There's no interface or interactive shell or protocol to run on the machine. In fact, the IVE platform has been audited and certified by several third-party security experts. In addition to their comprehensive access methods and end-to-end security, Juniper Network's secure access appliances also feature unique dynamic access privilege management capabilities. Any SSL solution should rely on these features to extend access methods and end-to-end security to provide diverse users with differentiated access privileges based on information such as user identity, network trust level, and device security. Here's an example to demonstrate how dynamic access privilege management features work. A saleswoman starts a travel day using her laptop on the corporate LAN to access resources protected by the Secure Access appliance. Here she will get one type of access experience. Since it is a managed device from a trusted network, she'll probably get the most permissive access. Then the saleswoman goes to the airport and logs into an airport kiosk to check her schedule. She is now accessing the network from an unmanaged device on an unmanaged network and will likely get less access than earlier. At the end of the day, the saleswoman checks into her hotel and accesses the LAN from her room. Now she has a managed device coming from an untrusted network and will likely get different privileges yet again. In this example, Secure Access was able to dynamically grant different privileges for the same user accessing the IVE from the same URL who was utilizing a variety of end devices and networks. This capability makes the Juniper Network Secure Access solution unique. The same concept can be applied to business partners, customers, and other non-employees who need to access the same network. Access privilege management actually begins before the user even logs in. There are 4 components to access privilege management: pre-authentication, authentication, roles, and resource policies. To start the pre-authentication process, the user enters the URL for the intranet or extranet that he or she is trying to access. The Secure Access appliance features support for multiple host names and a fully customizable user interface, so multiple virtual sites can be hosted from any appliance. The appliance receives the user's request and performs a pre-authentication assessment based on attributes like whether the endpoint is secure, which can be determined from the results of running the host checker security feature. In addition to their comprehensive access methods and end-to-end security, Juniper Network's Secure Access appliances also feature unique dynamic access privilege management capabilities. Any SSL solution should rely on these features to extend access methods and end-to-end security, and will likely get less access than earlier. At the end of the day, the saleswoman checks into her hotel and accesses the LAN from her room. Now she has a managed device coming from an untrusted network and will likely get different privileges yet again. In this example, Secure Access was able to dynamically grant different privileges for the same user accessing the IVE from the same URL who was utilizing a variety of end devices and networks. This capability makes the Juniper Network Secure Access solution unique. The same concept can be applied to business partners, customers, and other non-employees who need to access the same network. Access privilege management actually begins before the user even logs in. There are 4 components to access privilege management: pre-authentication, authentication, roles, and resource policies. To start the pre-authentication process, the user enters the URL for the intranet or extranet that he or she is trying to access. The Secure Access appliance features support for multiple host names and a fully customizable user interface, so multiple virtual sites can be hosted from any appliance. The appliance receives the user's request and performs a pre-authentication assessment based on attributes like whether the endpoint is secure, which can be determined from the results of running the host checker security feature. Other attributes include the user's IP address and whether the device is managed or unmanaged. Juniper Network Secure Access provides relevant remediation and containment in the pre-authentication stage. If the user's attributes do not match minimum requirements, they can be prompted to correct the situation before authentication or to accept reduced access privileges. The second step is authentication. The user enters the appropriate credentials, and the Secure Access device combines these inputs with information from the pre-authentication assessment to dynamically assign the user a role for the session. This role can change as the user moves around, logs in from different places, or even by time of day. Juniper Network Secure Access appliances are compatible with all popular authentication protocols and schemes, including LDAP, Radius, Windows NT Domain, Active Directory, Unix NIS, dual-factor authentication, and X.509 client-side digital certificates. Secure Access appliances feature dynamic lookup to authentication stores, so when a user logs in, the appliance sends a request to the authentication server. Once the user is authenticated, he or she is assigned a role for the session, which determines the type or types of access available for that session: core or web, SAM, which is client-server access as we defined earlier, or Network Connect, which is full network access. Just because a user can access client-server applications using SAM, for example, does not mean that he or she can automatically access all client-server applications on the LAN. In the last step of access privilege management, Secure Access dynamically assigns resource-level authorization for that session, specifying exactly what the user can view. Even after a session has started, continuous authentication occurs throughout the session to ensure that nothing has changed within the session and to provide complete security to the company's resources. Secure Access appliances also provide a standards-based interface for integration with password policies set in directory servers. The appliances can be configured to provide intermediate password change or expiration notices, ensuring end users aren't locked out of sessions because of password problems. This reduces desktop support costs. The appliances also allow forms-based, header variable-based, and standards-based single sign-in, so end users only have to sign in one time to access content on many servers. Because Juniper Network Secure Access appliances operate at the application layer, they provide extremely granular auditing and logging capabilities. They can be configured to show critical user or administrator events, and logs can be exported in standard formats such as WELF and W3C, or configured to use customized filters to leverage existing investments in logging and auditing. Secure Access appliances also feature an optional central manager console that makes it simple to manage a set of clustered devices from a single administrator interface. It provides the ability to push configurations across a cluster, provide local backup and restore, and enable zero downtime upgrades. The potential of online meetings is a natural extension of the Internet that greatly facilitates remote communications. Juniper Network Secure Meeting is an add-on option to the Secure Access appliances. When you consider that the majority of web-based meetings are 10 people or fewer and involve real-time application sharing, most businesses don't require a third-party service or custom collaboration extranet at all. The Secure Meeting option enables enterprises to instantly and securely provision online meetings and user-to-user collaboration across enterprises. Acme Gizmo has salespeople worldwide who need to access resources including Salesforce automation applications such as Lotus Notes and web-based applications from the road. Acme Gizmo also has consultants on site who need access to some of the information on the corporate intranet. Because they are not full-time employees, they should not have complete access. Furthermore, Acme Gizmo has an active roster of suppliers connecting to CRM applications and customers checking on order status. Acme Gizmo administrators must be able to troubleshoot the network and help users around the world. And as a carrier of a major group health plan, Acme Gizmo must comply with privacy and security rules for their employees. Acme Gizmo really needs Juniper Network's Secure Access SSL VPN. If they had it, users would just enter a URL to access protected resources. Immediately, the session is converted to a secure HTTPS session, even before usernames or credentials are entered. Acme Gizmo could customize the sign-in page with logos, color schemes, and images so that it looks familiar to users. The Secure Access appliance then performs a pre-assessment check, and if the network and device attributes are appropriate for the access requested, the user can enter his or her credentials to sign in, and the appliance authenticates them. It is fully compatible with industry-leading authentication systems, including dual-factor solutions and client-side certifications, so existing investments in security infrastructure can still be leveraged. Behind the scenes, the Security Access appliance associates the user with a role for this particular session. The role will control which of the three access types the user will have: clientless core access, client-server access, or full network access. Once authenticated, Acme Gizmo users can reach only the home pages, URLs, or portals specifically designated for them. Mission-critical internal sites, file servers and folders, web applications, and email services can be preloaded by the administrator or browsed to by the user and added as bookmarks. In fact, Juniper Network's Secure Access appliances, including web-enabled applications, Windows and Unix file shares, email and messaging clients, and Telnet SSH host servers. Secure Access appliances also provide resource-level authorization for each session, which can go to the URL, file, or server level. Users can reach any approved directory, site, and web-enabled application inside your LAN that they are authorized to see. When users navigate to a Windows file, they select the server and browse through the nodes, just as they do now with Windows Explorer. Unix NFS volumes are auto-mounted the same way. So with Juniper Network Secure Access, Acme Gizmo users can access their email from any PC anywhere, even from unknown public accessible computers such as airport internet kiosks. Because the mail server is protected behind the Secure Access appliance, Acme Gizmo doesn't have to continually worry about vulnerabilities. Whether your company is like Acme Gizmo or has a completely different set of secure remote access needs, Juniper Network Secure Access SSL VPN can provide an effective solution with no hardware or software to install, configure, or deploy. The Secure Access appliances connect with full 128-bit encryption through dial-up, DSL, cable modem, or any other means available, and provide support for strong authentication methods including dual-factor and client-side digital certificates. Plus, they enable very granular access control and logging capabilities. That's true data security for the mobile workforce.